More updates on s.h.figuarts pre-orders coming right up, so stick around. Hey, how's it going everyone? I'm DCSG81, and if this is your first time watching my video, welcome to my channel. This is where you will find me doing for action figures, custom heads and accessories, as well as some comparison and all sort of fun stuff. So I hope you will subscribe to my channel and click on the bell button so that you won't miss out any of my latest video. Okay, so this is a video about some new updates on the s.h.figuarts pre-order, and there will be some good news, and of course there will also be some bad news, but like always I like to save the best for the last. So tell me, how many of you are born in the 80s? Please raise up your feet. Okay, so for those of you who are born in the 80s, I'm sure some of you are one of those who will wake up early in the morning just to watch this. Yeah, I know it's a little bit cheesy because it's the 80s, whereby the Iron Man is still actually a Tin Man. Wait, I know you are skipping away, but I assure you there are some surprises for you, so just keep watching. Yes, I'll be talking to you about Ultraman. So there are about 6 of them, so they are called the Ultraman Brothers. Okay, so the first one is actually the most classic one, which you can see right over here. I believe this one is the most iconic one that most of you would have recognized. It's one of the brother, so this is actually called the Ultraman. So you can see some pretty good iconic pose there, and I'm quite sure that some of you will recognize some of these poses. Yeah, he's very iconic ones. So those of you who actually watch Ultraman should have recognized him. Okay, so the second brothers that we have is called the Ultraman Zoffy, which is looking a little similar to the first one, but he actually have those roundish buttons on his chest. We actually set him apart from the Ultraman Classic. Yep, so you can see he's also looking very similar. Even the flying pose and yeah, some of the attacks are pretty similar to the first one. Okay, so the third brothers is the Ultraman Z, which actually is looking very similar to the first classic Ultraman. They actually call him the Return of Ultraman. There's one episode of it, and a lot of people thought he is the classic one, but actually he's another brother which is called the Ultraman Z. Okay, looking pretty similar, except for he might have some weapons here now that the first Ultraman doesn't have, something like a staff here. Yeah, looking pretty cool. So the fourth one, we have the Ultraman that is called Ultra 7. I'm actually not very much interested in this Ultraman because of the eye portion, whereby you can see the eyeballs of it. It's looking pretty odd. Yeah, so you can see that even the design of his head is he has something like a horn here. Yeah, it's looking pretty funny to me, but now looking at it, it looks pretty okay though. So the fifth one is the Ultraman Taro, which is very similar in the sense that I dislike the eye design that is a bit like the Ultra 7. You can see something like an eyeball. Yeah, so but this one does have something that interests me. Is he have like 2 cow horns. Yeah, looking very much like it, because I actually like it because it's very similar to his father, the Ultraman father. Looking very cool there. So this is like very nice design. Yeah. And the last one is Ultraman Ace, which actually looks very small, because I think he's, if I'm not mistaken, he's the youngest, and he's looking pretty cute there. And the design, I would say, is a little bit like the Ultra 7, but somehow his fin here, like a fish fin, is looking a lot more cooler than the Ultra 7. Somehow that's how I feel it. Yep, so this one is looking pretty cool. You can see his attack is also looking very much cooler. Yep. So all of them has actually been released previously, and now they are being reissued, and reopen for pre-orders in Army, except for Ultraman Ace, which is a new release and is also being open for pre-orders in Army. And as you can see right over here, they are all being scheduled to be released in the month of July this year, except for the classic Ultraman, whereby they call this best selections. I believe it's also a reissue, which will be scheduled to be released a month earlier, which is June this year. But there is something that I would like to point out for this best selection classic Ultraman, because as you can see right over here, the price is relatively more cheaper compared to the rest of the Ultraman. So what's so special about it? And coincidentally, in the Army, there's still some leftover stocks for the classic Ultraman that has already been released quite some time ago. They still have the new stock. You can see right over here, and there's you can compare the prices, which is the best selection one is actually a lot cheaper. So let's take a look and compare what the figures comes with. So as you can see on the screen, the best selection classic Ultraman, this comes with a lot lesser in terms of the accessory. On this screen, you can actually see that it's missing some item there, which are basically these three things here. Okay, you can see at the pictures right over here as well. So he's missing this ray effects from his hand. You can see the hand is still attached to it. Okay, and also this sheet here, which I have not opened yet. Yeah, and also this base to actually hold on to the sheets, okay, for the poses that you can see. Okay, so yes, I do have the classic Ultraman here, which I bought quite some time ago. Yeah, so this is the one. Okay, so this is not the best selection, of course. Okay, so this is the very first release, I think. Yeah, bought it for quite a few years ago. So yes, initially I just thought to get the one classic Ultraman, which is the one that I showed you just now. But my buddy of mine, Plastic Phantom, he actually a big fan of Ultraman. He poisoned me to get the rest of the brothers. Right now, I already have Zoffy. Okay, I have the Ultra 7, as well as the Ultraman Taro here. Okay, so I have 4 of them. So the other 2 is the Jack, which I have it on pre-order, and also the Ultraman Ace, which has not been released yet. So both of them will be released on July this year. Then I'll have the complete 6 Ultra Brothers here. Okay, so as for the surprises that I mentioned just now, do you know that Marvel is actually making a new series for the Ultraman animation? Yes, I'm not kidding. There are even some pictures that you can see right over here. It was from the Marvel website. I'll leave the link at my video description below for those of you who actually wanted to read more about it. Okay, so let's move on to some real Marvel stuff here. Okay, so for those of you who have watched my previous video about some s.h.figuarts news, which you can see right over here, I mentioned that there are some reissue for the MCU Infinity War, which is the Mark 50 Hulk, as well as Doctor Strange, these 3 figures, which was released I think a few weeks ago in Army. And here comes the good news. So for those of you who are still interested, they are all available in Army as of the last I checked, which is a few hours ago in the afternoon. This may be your last chance of grabbing them. And I know a lot of you actually wanted a Doctor Strange, which is relatively quite expensive right now in the market. So this is your best chance to grab your copy at a very reasonable price in army.com. And as for the bad news, I remember I did mention there are more characters from the Infinity War that will be reissued and released in this month. Apparently the news actually went dead. Okay, so I know some of you has been asking me about the Iron Patriot or even the Star-Lord, Thanos. Okay, when will Army have it open for pre-order? I'm sorry that I do not have the answer for you, because apparently I think it just went silence about it totally. There's no news about it anymore. I even checked with my Hong Kong friends, and he mentions that yeah, it's like no news, but I think it's still going on, it's still going to happen, but God knows when it will come, because as you know, our current situation, the coronavirus, maybe the factors in why the news just went dead. Okay, so I think they have announced this way before this situation get worse, and so now maybe some of the factories has been closed, so we should also explain why there are no news about it anymore. Okay, but keep your finger crossed that it might still happen. Okay. Okay, so I hope you like this very simple updates on the s.h.figuarts pre-order news. Hope you give me a thumbs up if you like it, and of course always leave me any comments below or any questions that you have regards to all these s.h.figuarts that I have mentioned. Yep, just leave me any question, and of course I will answer you, and if I don't know the answer, of course I will let you know that I'm not so sure about it. Okay. And before you leave, I hope you'll check out my random playlist that I always put there, and also check out my channel for more videos that are available. And for my next video, I have an idea to try something new, which I think I have not tried before. Yeah, so I hope you guys will actually like the new idea. So stay tuned for it, and I'll see you there. Bye.